Do you want to get off to a great start in No Man's Sky? Well then here are a few things you'll want to do right away to get a jump on this huge space epic. It's difficult to overemphasize how important long-range scanning is. You'll use it to find valuable elements and, more importantly, the signal scanners that guide you to colony bases, manufacturing facilities, and more. Weapon upgrade recipes, which include scanner blueprints, are plentiful if you know where to look. Most of the time, you'll find them in colony bases and manufacturing facilities in little wall terminals. Once you have a recipe and the necessary resources, craft it using an empty slot in your multi-tool. Atlas stations lead you to anomalies where you can receive an Atlas Pass. Atlas Passes open all kinds of locked storage rooms and boxes, especially the upper reaches of space stations. The station and facilities you visit are populated with a myriad of strange life forms. Talk with them. Even if you don't understand every word they say, you'll often get the gist. Go along with their desires, give gifts, and act nice, and you'll find the rewards are almost always worth the trouble. Languages are the key to better negotiation, which means more free stuff. When in a manufacturing facility, always pick up a new word if one is available from a wall terminal. Likewise with knowledge stones that can be found all over planets. In almost every space station, you'll find sealed rooms requiring an Atlas Pass for entry. Opening them reveals a world of gear, some of which is extraordinarily valuable. Additionally, you'll usually find it worthwhile to visit manufacturing facilities and colonies, where you'll be able to grab free blueprints, find transmissions for crash sites, or increase your standing with alien factions. You can never have too many blueprints. Unlike most resources, they don't take up inventory space, so grab as many as you can. You'll almost always encounter a situation where they're helpful. Don't leave a system until you're done there. Warp cells are a rare and precious commodity. Crafting them takes some diverse resource gathering. Don't be too frivolous when hopping from star to star. At the same time, you'll also remember that the components you need to craft cells will be available somewhere in your system, so don't panic if you find your reserve dry. Eventually, No Man's Sky stops pointing you towards facilities on every planet, and you'll need to find your own way. Enter the bypass chip. Planets are dotted with signal scanners, little glowing beacons shooting an orange light into the air. Find one of these and craft a bypass chip, and you'll be able to find all kinds of helpful things like drop pods, crashed ships, and much more. Isotopes are among the most common and important elements in the No Man's Sky galaxy, providing power for most of your key equipment including weapons, life support, your mining beam, your ship's launch thrusters, and pulse drive. Your mining beam doesn't care what type of isotope you feed it, but other equipment is more specific. Launch thrusters always demand plutonium. Isotopes are plentiful, but you should always keep a small amount of spare carbon or plutonium in your pocket to recharge your beam if it gets low. Don't bypass anything in the structure where you meet the first alien and get your hyperdrive blueprint. Inside, you'll likely find an exosuit upgrade and more. Look around and upgrade your multi-tool and grab any free supplies laying around. Valuable elements and rare materials are a great way to earn cash. Need more units? Scan and farm these planetside and sell them in space. Every star system has a space station, a haven for travelers providing trade services, saving options, and shield replenishment. In the upper reaches of space stations exist small rooms with canisters, often containing valuable crafting materials or other useful elements, which are very helpful for rapidly upgrading your character's equipment. These are especially useful for finding valuables and warp cells. To enter, you'll need to craft an Atlas Pass. By upgrading your exosuit's carrying capacity at space stations and drop pods, you increase your potential for gathering crafting materials and equipping useful upgrade equipment. Upgrading is expensive, but the carrying capacity is invaluable. You can find exosuit storage upgrades by searching for shelters at any signal scanner. The overwhelming scale of No Man's Sky might be a bit intimidating at first. With very little linear guidance, you might be a bit overwhelmed. Remember that as big as things are, the game's activities really boil down to a few core activities: exploration and gathering, barter, combat, and finding the center. Your starter ship is fine, but you'll want something with greater warp range. Grab a vessel with an extended hyperdrive range as soon as you can. Save some cash and hang out in a space station dock until what you need shows up, or start following transmissions until you find a repairable crashed vessel with the equipment you need. This should at least get you a good start on the massive game that is No Man's Sky. For more helpful tips, make sure you check out our wiki. And for everything else No Man's Sky, you're already in the right place, IGN.